All right, Priyal, we are now on to dependent compound events. So dependent events are when the outcome of one event does impact the outcome of the second event. An example of this would be drawing a card without replacement and then drawing another card. Okay, this one means that when I have my deck of cards, I draw a card from it, look at it, I leave it out of the deck. Do not put it back in the deck. And then I draw another card. Okay, this is dependent because when I draw the first card and then leave it out, now the deck has one less card in it. So it has changed what can happen in the second event. Okay, so that's the difference between independent and dependent. Dependent events are when the outcome of the first event does impact the outcome of the second event. We find the probability of dependent events using this formula. So it's the probability of event A and event B is found by taking the probability of event A and multiplying it by the probability of event B following event A, and we assume that event A was successful. Okay, this one sounds a little bit complicated. We're going to do a couple of examples to make it so that you understand it. Okay, so we're going to look first at what would happen if I had a bag full of some different counters, those little chip things. So in the bag we have 3 blue, 1 white, 4 red, and 2 yellow counters. And I want to know what the probability is of drawing a blue counter and then a yellow counter without replacing. Okay, meaning I'm going to draw the first counter and then leave it out of the bag when I go to draw the second one. Okay, so I'm going to do the work over here on my whiteboard. So we first start with the probability of event A, which in this case is the blue. Okay, so in the bag I have 3 blue counters, so my favorable outcomes would be 3 out of total outcomes. So how many total counters are in the bag? 3 plus 1 is 4, 8, 10. So there are 10 total. So the probability of getting a blue is 3 out of 10. Now we're going to do the probability of event B, drawing a yellow, but we have to assume that we were successful in the first event, meaning we assume that we did draw a blue counter. Okay? So if we did draw a blue counter and leave it out of the bag, now there are only 9 counters left in the bag when I go to draw the second one. Okay, because we took the blue one out and left it out. So we went from 10 in the bag to now there's only 9. Okay, but we took a blue counter out, so there would still be the 2 yellow in the bag. Okay, so again, this is the probability of getting a blue, 3 out of 10, for the first event. We assume that we were successful and we have drawn a blue counter and left it out of the bag. So now there are only 9 total counters in the bag. 2 of them are yellow. So we take that and we multiply. 3 times 2 is 6. 10 times 9 is 90. I know that can be simplified. I have it over here. So 6 over 90 simplifies to 1/15, and then I used my calculator to find that that is 6.6%. Okay, so that would be an example of a dependent event. Let's try another one using the same setup. Okay, this time we want to know what's the probability of getting a red and then a white. So I'm going to change my marker color. Probability of getting a red, we'll start there. There are 4 red counters in the bag, and there are 10 total counters when we start this experiment. Okay, then we're going to multiply that by the probability of event B, assuming we were successful on event A. Okay, so if we assume we were successful, that would mean that we did draw a red counter. We've taken that out of the bag and left it out. So now there are 9 counters left in the bag. Okay, but we took out a red one, so there would still be 1 white counter in the bag. So then we multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. 10 times 9 is 90. Those can both be divided by 2. So the probability of drawing a red and then a white without replacement would be 2 over 45, which I then used a calculator again to find the percent, and that is about 4.4%. Okay, both of those are dependent events because we did not replace. So we drew one counter, left it out of the bag, and then drew another one. Okay, this next example, we want to know the probability of red and then white with replacement. So that's an independent event because we are going to draw a counter, see what color it is, and then put it back in the bag. That means we are replacing it before we draw the second one. Okay, so again, I'm going to switch my color. Let's do green. Red are getting a red. So there are 4 reds out of the 10. Okay, so I draw one, then I replace it, so there are still 10 in the bag, and this time white, there's 1 white. Okay, so this is independent, so how many reds out of the total? Then we replace what we drew, so there are still 10 in the bag, there's 1 white, so 4 times 1 is 4, 10 times 10 is 100. That can be simplified to 1/25, which is 4%. Okay, so you can see the difference. It's the same setup, red and white, but this one is without replacement, and this one is with replacement. So you really need to pay attention to what it says because that'll affect your second event. Okay, let's look at another example. This time we are going to draw a face card without replacement and then draw a 2. Okay, so dependent event because it is without replacement. We are going to draw one card from the deck of cards, leave it out, and then draw another from the deck of cards. Okay, I'm going to clear this. All right, theoretical probability, what should happen? We want to know the probability of drawing a face card, not replacing it, and then drawing a 2. We set that up into 2 separate events. So we start with the probability of event A, the probability of drawing a face. Remember, there are 12 face cards in a deck of cards, so 12 out of 52, which is 3 over 13. Then we take the probability of event B, assuming we were successful in event A. Okay, so the probability of drawing a 2, we still have all 4 2s in the deck, but there's one less card in the deck, so there are only 51 cards in the deck this time. The probability of 2, if we drew the face, would be 4 out of 51. Okay, so we multiply that. Definitely feel free to use a calculator. 3 times 4 is 12, 13 times 51, 663. That simplifies to 4 over 221. Use a calculator to change that to a percent, and it's 1.8%, very low on the probability scale, very unlikely. Okay, now we're going to try that out with our experimental probability. So for our experimental probability, again, you may want to set up that t-chart of just yes versus no. We again want to find the probability of drawing a face card and then not replacing it and drawing a 2. So you're going to test this experiment 10 times and record if you were successful or not successful. To be successful, that means that you have your deck of cards, you draw one card. If it is a face card, you leave it out and then draw another one. And if that is a 2, that is successful. Okay. If you draw the first card and it's not a face card, you're automatically not successful. If you draw a face card and leave it out and then draw a card and it's not a 2, then you are not successful. Okay, so record how many times you were successful versus not successful, and then write your probability off of that. Okay, pause the video so you can do your experiment. All right, when I did this, I was successful 1 time. So my probability was 1 out of 10, which is 10%, which was a lot higher than I expected it to be. I did not expect to be successful at all. So I would expect that if I continue doing the experiment a lot more than 10 times, I would start to see my experimental probability drop a lot closer to that theoretical probability. All right. What is the relationship between simple and compound events? Take a few seconds, think, how would you answer that question? I would answer this by saying compound events are made up of simple events. So compound events are just two or more simple events combined into one probability experiment. Here's another question I want you to think about. What is the difference between independent and dependent events? Independent events are when the events are separate and their outcomes do not affect each other. Okay, so an example would be rolling a dice and then flipping a coin. Those have nothing to do with one another. Dependent events is when the outcome of the first event does affect the second event. Okay, so that's like we just did. If we have a deck of cards, we draw a card and we leave it out of the deck, so now there are less cards to draw from the second time. Right, that's a dependent event. So independent events do not affect one another. Dependent events do affect one another. All right, what to do next? Rewatch this video as much as you need to. When you are ready to move on, you'll watch the video lesson on odds. The independent practice for this week covers both compound probability for both independent and dependent events and odds. So if you would like to do the practice over compound probability and do more practice with that before watching the video on odds, you can do it in that order too. But please watch all of the videos and do the practice before you move on to the check-in. All right, thank you guys for listening. Have a good rest of your day.